Dear students, good evening all of you. I am Dr. Ganesan, Head Department of Economics, Ayya Ammal College, Sivakasi. Today we are going to discuss about the indifference curve analysis in Sugan economics. Here the two eminent English economists J.R. Hicks and R.G.D. Allen, they have criticized the idea given by Marshall, that is a cardinal utility analysis, and they have given a new idea called indifference curve analysis. J.R. Hicks, in his paper, a reconsideration of the theory of value, he criticized vehemently the cardinal utility analysis given by Marshall. So here, according to Marshall, utility can be measured in terms of cardinal numbers. But here, these two eminent economists, J.R. Hicks and R.G.D. Allen, they have criticized that utility cannot be measured in terms of cardinal numbers. It can be either ranked or given order. So the new idea given by J.R. Hicks and R.G.D. Allen is called the indifference curve analysis. So here, later on, J.R. Hicks, in his paper Value and Capital, published in the year 1939, he given elaborately about the indifference curve analysis. So now we can see about what is indifference curve analysis. So here indifference curve analysis explains consumer behavior in terms of his preferences or rankings for different combinations of two goods. So here you take into account of Marshallian cardinal utility analysis. Utility can be measured in terms of cardinal numbers, that is number 1, 2, 3 and so on, because here they have followed the cardinal utility analysis. But here you take into account of J.R. Hicks and others. Here the utility cannot be measured because utility is a subjective phenomenon. So it cannot be measured in terms of cardinal numbers, because the utility derived by one individual by consuming a particular commodity will differ from one individual to another individual. So it is not possible for us to measure in terms of cardinal numbers. So instead of that, what we have to do means we have to give a ranking or in order. So the indifference curve analysis explains consumer behavior in terms of his preferences or rankings for different combinations of two goods. We are going to discuss about indifference schedule. So here schedule is nothing but a tabular statement which explains the relationship between what we are going to discuss. So here you take into account of indifference schedule. It's a schedule of various combinations of two commodities which will give the same level of satisfaction. So here you take into account of indifference curve analysis. The combination which is taken by the consumer, any combination that will provide the same level of satisfaction to the consumer. So here indifference schedule explains the combination of two commodities. For example, you take account of two commodities, it is commodity X and commodity Y. The combination of two commodities, that any combination you can mix commodity X and Y, and that will give the same level of satisfaction to the consumer. So it will be clearly explained with the help of this table. So in the table we are having combinations, that is three combinations. We are having combination 1, 2, 3, and here we have taken two goods, good X and good Y. So here the first combination, you take into account of the first combination. So here 1 unit of X commodity and 3 units of Y commodity. You take into account of combination 2, here 2 units of X commodity and 2 units of Y commodity. And you take into account of combination 3, here 3 units of X commodity and 1 unit of Y commodity. So the consumer who can select any combination, either the consumer should select combination 1, or he can select combination 2, or he can select combination 3. Both will or will provide same level of satisfaction. So here the combinations are arranged in such a way that the consumer is indifferent among the combinations. So here the consumer, the individual consumer who can give preferences towards either 1 or 2 or 3, it is his indifference. So here the consumer is indifferent among the combination and he can select any one, but all the combinations will provide same level of satisfaction. Dear student, are you clear about the indifference schedule? Okay. So now we are going to discuss about the meaning of indifference curve. So here indifference curve is the locus of all commodities combinations which the consumer derives same level of satisfaction. So that means on the indifference curve the consumer take any combination that will provide same level of satisfaction to the consumer. For example, you take into account of this diagram. So here in the x-axis we have taken good x and in the y-axis we have taken good y. So here the curve IC is called the indifference curve. So on the indifference curve I have taken 3 points R, S, T. So here it represents the 3 different combinations which I have given in the indifference schedule. So in the indifference schedule, the first combination is 1 unit of X commodity and 3 units of Y commodity, and the second combination is 2 units of X commodity and 2 units of Y commodity, and the third combination is 3 units of X commodity and 1 unit of Y commodity. So we have plotted these points on the graph sheet and we get the points R, S and T. Now you can join all these 3 points. You will get a curve. That curve is called indifference curve. So here what is the indifference curve explains means either you take point R, or you take point S, or you take point T, or any other point on the indifference curve that will provide same level of satisfaction to the consumer. Here the only thing, the combination is differ. Suppose a consumer is taking point R, it means he is selecting 1 unit of X commodity and 3 units of Y commodity. This is a combination selected by consumer X. Suppose the consumer same X, if he is selecting the second combination, that is point S, it means he is having the combination of 2 units of X commodity and 2 units of Y commodity. Here both the combinations, either the previous combination or the current combination, both will provide same level of satisfaction to the consumer. So instead of taking point R, S and T, you take any point on the indifference curve that will provide same level of satisfaction to the consumer. Suppose if the consumer is taking point R, that is he is having 1 unit of X commodity and 3 units of Y commodity. Suppose if he is selecting point S, the 2 units of X commodity and 2 units of Y commodity, and if he is selecting point T, 3 units of X commodity and 1 unit of Y commodity, all these combinations, if the consumer is selecting any one, that will provide same level of satisfaction. Are you clear, student? The meaning of indifference curve? So indifference curve is the locus of all commodities combinations which the consumer derives same level of satisfaction. So here the indifference curve is otherwise called iso-utility curve or equal satisfaction curve. So why we are telling the indifference curve is otherwise called iso-utility curve or equal satisfaction curve? It is called iso-utility because you take the consumer take any combination, the consumer will get same level of utility. So because of that only we are telling the indifference curve is otherwise called iso-utility curve. Then why we are calling the indifference curve as equal satisfaction curve? So whatever be the combination taken by the consumer on the indifference curve, that will provide same level of satisfaction or equal level of satisfaction. So because of that only we are telling indifference curve is otherwise called equal satisfaction curve. Are you clear, students? Okay. So now we are going to discuss about the indifference map. So here indifference map, an indifference map is a family or collection or a set of indifference curves corresponding to different levels of satisfaction. So here you can remember indifference map is nothing but a family of indifference curves or a set of indifference curves or a collection of indifference curves corresponding to different levels of satisfaction. Here in the diagram you can clearly understand about what do you mean by indifference map and what do you mean by corresponding to different levels of satisfaction. So here again in the x-axis we have taken good x and in the y-axis we have taken good y, and here I have taken 3 indifference curves, that is indifference curve 1, that is IC1, indifference curve 2, IC2 and indifference curve 3, that is IC3. So here IC1 is the lowest indifference curve and IC2 is a higher indifference curve compared to IC1, and IC3 is the highest indifference curve. Right? So here, any point you take on the indifference curve, that will provide same level of satisfaction. Suppose you take a point on point A on indifference curve IC1, or you take a point on IC1, again point B on indifference curve 1. These both point A and B will provide same level of satisfaction. There is no doubt in it. Whether you take A or B or any point on the indifference curve IC1, that will provide same level of satisfaction. Suppose a consumer is moved from the lower indifference curve, that is IC1, or you take if a consumer is moved from point A to C. So here point C is on the indifference curve 2, it is a higher indifference curve compared to IC1. So at point C, the consumer is getting higher level of satisfaction and compared to point A and B. So in the same way, suppose the consumer moved from point C to point D, so at that time the consumer is getting more amount of satisfaction when compared to point A, B and C. So when a consumer is moved from a lower indifference curve to a higher indifference curve, his level of satisfaction will be increased. So that is what we are telling. The indifference map is a collection of or a set of indifference curves corresponding to different levels of satisfaction. So what is the level of satisfaction we have derived in indifference curve 1 is not equal to indifference curve 2, or it is not equal to indifference curve 3, because indifference curve 2 and 3 are higher indifference curve when we compare to indifference curve IC1. Okay. So here, how much level of indifference, how much amount of satisfaction will be increased when a consumer is moved from a lower indifference curve to a higher indifference curve? That will not be quantitatively given, because here the satisfaction derived by the consumer will be explained only with the help of qualitative term, not in quantitative term. Dear student, are you clear about the introduction about the indifference curve, the indifference schedule, the meaning of indifference curves, and indifference map? So tomorrow we will see in another video. So the material, the king's points which I have given here, it will be given in the description box. If you want, you can go through it. Those who are not subscribing Sugan Economics channel, kindly subscribe and click the bell button. Whenever we upload a video, the intimation will be given to you. See you tomorrow. Thank you.